Hi, George here to show you how you can print multiple copies of one image on one sheet of paper. It's an easy trick here in Photoshop Elements. Now, if you're struggling with Photoshop Elements, I have the perfect solution. I put my 20 years of experience into my video training course for Photoshop Elements. I'll put a link for that at the top of the description. Okay, now for this trick, we want to be going over to the Elements Organizer. That's the button right down here. Let's bring this up. Notice that I have this picture here open inside of the editor. And here we're now in the Organizer. And if I scroll down, here's that picture. And notice that it has this black bar that says Edit in Progress. This just lets you know that it's opened up over in the editor. So I can't be doing any editing on this, but I can still print this. That's just fine. So to print this picture, just click on the picture to select it. You'll see that check mark right there. Let's then go up here to File, come down to Print. And so bring up the Print dialog box. Here we go with that image over here on the print side. Now you can add more images if you want to. You can have a lot of images in here and print them all. But we'll stick with just this one image, and we'll want to have multiple prints on this one page. Right now, this is set for 8.5 by 11 right down here, and you can see that right there. Select paper size. You can choose different paper sizes if you need to. I'll stick with the standard US size. Above that is our basic printer settings and the printer that I'm using right there. And then come down here, it says select type of print. Normally this will say individual prints. Just open this up, and you want picture package right there. And then I'll scroll down a little bit and uncheck crop to fit. And then check fill page with first photo. Then right here, we'll select a layout. This is all the different kinds of layouts you can use. You can do 2 3x5s. Here's 2 4x6s. Here's 3 4x6s on one sheet like that. And we have down here multiple different sizes, 1 5x7 and 2 3.5x5s. We also have down here, here's a 1 5x7 and 6 2x3s. That's the little wallet size right there. So lots of options in here for putting multiple images onto one sheet of paper. And this will cover most of your needs. Like here's your passport size, for instance, right there. Now you can add frames onto these, but I normally don't bother with that. But real fast, click on the frame. There you go. You can add these little frames in. Notice how each one of the frames is on every single one of those images, but we'll stay away from the frames. There we go. I don't use crop to fit because it can come in here and just change the composition a little bit. So I'll leave that off usually. And you can also choose how many copies you want printed right down here. Now, if you want to get to the basic setup, not the Photoshop Elements, that's right here. It says Page Setup. That's your basic printer dialog box right there. Cancel that one out. And there's a few more options over here. Most of the time, you can ignore those two, and then simply click on Print to print out your new picture package. Now, if you have different sizes that are not mentioned in the picture package list right here, you want to do something different, you can still do that. You just can't do it the easy way over here inside of the organizer. Let me show you that trick. I'll cancel this out, and let's close down the organizer. And we're back over here inside of the Elements editor. Say I wanted to have this on a couple of weird sizes on one print. I can do that. Let's make a new file in here. File, new, blank file. Set this one up for the size that you want. I'll do US paper size, 8.5 by 11. Choose OK. That's vertical. That's OK. And then I'll drag this down so it's floating window. If you don't have floating windows, that's up here under Edit. Come down to Preferences and General. And it's this option right here, Allow Floating Documents in Advanced Mode, right there. If you're on an earlier version of Elements, it will say Expert Mode right there instead of Advanced Mode. And then simply take your picture, drag it over here, this out of the way, and it comes in as its own layer. If I want 2 copies on here, I'll just right-click over here, duplicate this layer, choose OK, drag that one down. I now have 2 copies. I can use the Control-T keyboard shortcut, and I can make this any size I want. And later versions of Elements have that little pop-up window so you can see what the size is actually going to be. Even if you want a very specific size that isn't covered by what's available over there in the organizer, you can do it here manually inside of the editor. One thing to be careful about, though, is that most printers will not print clear out to the edge. Some will, most of them will not. So you want to leave some space. I'll just put in some just random guidelines in here. I won't be exact on these things, but I'm putting these in at about 1/3 of an inch. But you want to leave about that much space around there just in case, so you won't have any cutoff on your image. Again, don't forget, I have a complete video course for this program. I cover everything in here, in both the editor and also the organizer as well. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up, click on subscribe so you don't miss any videos in the future, and I'll see you next time.